Hey guys, it's me, Slick Ricky, and today I'll be touching one of my favorite topics, drunk stories! I don't have any shortage of those because I used to drink a lot, and I mean a lot. Well, that was back during my younger days. Not that I'm really old. Well, I'm not really that young either. But anyway, I'm sure most of you are no strangers when it comes to being drunk and doing stupid things while being drunk. So to help you guys relive some of those wonderful memories, I'm going to be sharing some of my own. So how do I start this? My first house party. It was way back when I was in maybe, second or third year of college, and my mom left me all alone at home because she was going on a vacation or something. So I figured, hey, I have the whole house to myself. Perfect time for a party. I asked permission, of course, don't worry. So I called up a couple of my college friends, they showed up, and then the fun began. Oh, everyone got friggin' drunk. And the things that happened that night. Whew! There was this one guy who was doing push-ups underneath my dining room table. There was this one girl who puked in my kitchen sink while saying a lot of nice things to the people helping her out. Then there came a point where everyone just lied on top of each other to create this one massive drunken pile on the bed. But as fun as that was, cleaning up the next day was not. That's because after everyone left and I was all alone in the house again, other than the mess, I noticed that the place was littered with ngoyong. Yeah, that thing. Or to give you guys a better picture, this thing. Think of it as the Philippines' take on the spring roll. It's friggin' delicious. But anyway, while cleaning up, I found ngoyong in places one would typically not expect them to be in. You know, like under my bed, inside my shoe, and even the toilet. Pretty sure that was ngoyong. I wasn't gonna do a double take, cause, you know, it could have been something else. Yeah, despite that, the party was amazing. 10 out of 10, I'd definitely do it again. But if there's anyone I would thank for some of the best and worst drunk memories I've ever had, then there are 3 people in particular that come to my mind. I won't be using the real names, so let's call them Mr. A, Mr. B, and Mr. C. I've drank with these guys so much that I've lost count of the number of stupid things that we did. I still remember our first drinking session together. It was nighttime and we were in this wooden house by the beach, and it was the perfect place for drinking. Let me start by listing down what we had that evening. Antonov vodka for the alcohol, red and blue Gatorade for the chasers, and the snack called Flat Tops to go with them. It was kind of disgusting, because at a certain point we mixed them all together because we thought that if you did that, you wouldn't be able to taste the vodka. It was our first session, okay? Things started off fine, all of us hanging out, talking, laughing, taking a shot here and there. And alright, Mr. B's brother was there too. But yeah, this is how we started, and this is how we ended up as the night went on. Mr. A happily dancing with his lamp, Mr. B laughing and moving like there was a coyote down his pants, Mr. C using that ice bucket to meditate the night away, and me? Well, I was just out of it. Don't worry about Mr. B's brother. He's fine, he's alive. He just had that plastic bag over his head because... You know? I don't remember why it was on him. But yeah, it was fun. But not all sessions are like that, because there are some which end in pain. Physical, not emotional, because I'm not ready to tackle that just yet. Anyway, this story takes place during one of our regular drinking sessions at Mr. A's place. We got pretty buzzed at around 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning, when suddenly I had the bright idea of asking Mr. A to slap me so that I could get that burst of energy to keep on drinking. He agreed, and he wanted a slap too. Then Mr. B heard it and said that he wanted in on the action. Where was Mr. C? Well, he was already dead asleep by that point. So we proceeded to smack the ever-living hell out of each other's faces. It's funny because none of us held back. We didn't care. I feel like we would have ripped each other's faces off if we could. So you can imagine the kind of pain we had to endure the next day after waking up. Not exactly one of our brightest ideas. Speaking of bright ideas, Mr. C certainly had one during one of our beach drinking sessions. Mr. C, if you're watching this, then you can kill me if you want, but I'm sharing this. I'm sorry. So we, the 4-man goon squad, were just, drinking, when Mr. C had the sudden urge to hurl. One of us checked up on him and noticed he was catching the vomit in his hands. So the obvious question to ask was, why'd you catch it? To which he responded, because I don't want the sand to get dirty. Took a few seconds for that to chime in until we all started laughing. He had good intentions, but yeah. Well, other than making you do stupid things, there are times when alcohol can make someone better at something as opposed to if they were sober. One fine example is Mr. B. During a particular drinking session, he and I were playing this tablet game where you were a plane and you had to dodge incoming enemies, and it ends when you go kaboom. I think you gained a point for every enemy you dodged. Pretty sure. But yeah, we were playing and I beat his previous high score of 20, like I got 24 or something. I was proud because me and him were pretty buzzed at that point, and the game wasn't exactly easy. When he saw what I did, he was just like, "Gimme that," and played for like, what, maybe 5 or 10 minutes? Then when he was done, he shoved the tablet back at my face, showing me that he just easily overtook the score I worked so hard to get. Yeah, I was definitely impressed. I didn't want to play the game anymore after that. Another really impressive drunken feat that I still remember was done by a person that wasn't Mr. A, B, or C. No, it was done by someone that we'll call Mr. E. Get it? 'Cause it's a mystery as to who he is. This was something that he came up with and I had to oblige, okay? But yeah, me and him were playing beer pong in Mr. A's place when he suddenly had the bright idea of aiming for my stomach instead of one of the cups. I can only imagine the kind of formulas he was using in his head to make sure that he'd hit me. I'm sure something went wrong there because he took the shot and the ball went flying straight into my eye instead. I was impressed by the fact that it was such a clean shot. Any faster and the ball could have literally replaced my eye. Oh, don't worry, he didn't leave unpunished. He had to take a couple of shots without any chasers, which eventually got him dead drunk. So all is right in the world, I suppose. I've noticed that most of these memories I've shared have been about dumb things, and trust me that the last one I'm gonna share is gonna be really, really dumb. So the next one is gonna be something that's a little sweeter. So me and the goons were at Mr. B's place for a change, so that Mr. A could take a break from the usual trouble of hosting our regular drinking sessions. It went about as well as you'd expect. We drank, we laughed, we talked about dumb stuff, and got eventually knocked out. Now I'm sure Mr. B fell asleep in his own room, and Mr. C fell asleep in the living room couch. I fell asleep in one of the spare rooms in Mr. B's house where guests were allowed to stay. There was no bed. There was just like a little mattress on the floor for people to sleep in. So the next day I woke up and I noticed that there was an arm draped over me. I carefully looked back and who was it but Mr. A, sleeping peacefully, half naked while his arm was around me. I know you guys are expecting me to say that I went, "Hey, get off me, ew!" But no. I was just like, warm, and fell back asleep. Not gonna lie, it was actually pretty nice. Okay, last one, and this is more of a post-drunk story if anything. It happened on the 24th of April between the year 2013 and 2014 at 5 p.m. in the afternoon. This is something that the goons have never let me live down, and I can totally understand why, cause it was really, really dumb on my end. So me, the guys, Mr. B's bro, and even one of his uncles who joined us, came back from a trip via a boat. We were dropped off at the pier and we had to wait for like a few minutes to an hour until the next bus that would take us home arrived. We were still a bit hungover at this point, but the rest of them were able to handle it much better than I did. So while we were waiting, I noticed something. There were these pigeons. Such beautiful creatures. After spotting them, I did what any sane person would do. I rushed in and started chasing them around. I don't know why, but I felt like I just had to. So after a few minutes of chasing him around, I was satisfied. That was until I met it. This majestic white pigeon that was like giving me the bedroom eyes, begging for me to go after it. So yeah, I did just that. What's funny is that it wasn't just the people who I knew that were watching. Everyone else waiting for the bus was watching too. I was running after it for a good long while and it never flew. It just kept running. Maybe it knew what was about to happen. So while I was chasing it, I didn't notice that there was this hole that I could potentially trip over. I know it led me there. I know it did. So, as you can pretty much guess, I tripped over because of the hole. It's weird because just as I was about to hit the floor, it's like time just stopped. There was one thought in my mind as soon as I knew that I was going to hit the ground. This is so gonna hurt. Then the flow of time started back up again. I fell, I skidded a little bit through the cemented floor, and well, yeah, everyone saw it happen. Some were horrified, some were embarrassed, some just wondered what the hell they just saw, and then there were those who just laughed. My friends? Yeah, they all laughed. Horrified at first, then found it hilarious after. Even the uncle was laughing. I'm sure he was. I couldn't walk cause, funny enough, it was my knee that took most of the damage. I knew that I had to make my way back to those guys so that I could get my wound properly treated. So how'd I do that? Well, I hopped like an injured bunny till I got close enough to them. Once I got to them, they checked on my wound and since we didn't have any rubbing alcohol, I don't know why, they made the decision of using drinking alcohol instead and poured it all over my wound. It hurt. It really hurt. But hey, if I had to look at the bright side, my little stunt allowed us to skip the line for the bus. It's something. As for that pigeon, I don't know, it flew off somewhere. I swear I'm gonna get my revenge someday. Calm down, I'm not gonna hurt it. But I do have a few select words that I want to scream at it. So yeah, those are some of my drunk stories. I have so much more, but I think it's best to save them for another time. That and because making this video already took a lot out of me. I'll work on the next one as soon as possible. Just gotta take a short break. So yeah, thanks for listening guys. Hope you all enjoyed what I had to share. Bye bye and stay safe!